friends at Window Nation and windownation.com. Go to windownation.com. Bye.
From the York.
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today and get internet with a price for life. Keep your internet service monthly rate for as long as you keep your plan. Internet service monthly rate subject to continued plan availability.
Alec Lewis Show. Just another way to get Vikings news from the fan.
The Power Hour, powered by Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. It's live. KFA.com/watch is where you can find it.
Good to know.
It is good to know. Hi, everybody.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. We're live on KFN.com/watch.
Good to know.
It is good to know, lady.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, I know we got to do sports because Rosie's.
I'm not. Come on.
Whoa.
He's bored out of his mind talking about Sid Vicious video games.
Well, I'll tell you, this might rile him up.
Rock star.
I wonder where you guys land on this.
boy.
Have you heard about this? Do you think about this? You've heard about this? The internet's going crazy over Venmo Mom.
What?
Yeah. There's a mom in Tennessee, and she's gone viral because she doesn't want to volunteer at all at her kid's school when the teachers ask for help. She said she'd rather just donate money. This is what she had to say.
I don't know about anyone else out there, but Meet the Teacher is super stressful. I do not want to be involved at all. I will make sure my kids do their homework, get to school on time. I don't want to be on PTO, PTA, room mom, team mom. I don't want to do any of that. And I start getting real stressed when they start asking for volunteers. I know they're judging me because I'm not raising my hand, but I don't want to come in. I don't want to set up. If the room mom needs money, fine. I'll Venmo money right over. But I successfully avoided all of that today. I even told one of the coaches that I am a Venmo mom.
Okay.
Where do you guys land on that?
First off, great attitude.
Right.
Are you saying that for real?
Setting a great example for your kids.
Come on.
Yeah.
I know that, like, for sports associations and things, you have options sometimes to volunteer services. You work concessions at a different age group's game or something like that, or pay what typically is a little bit of an exorbitant fee. They try to, because they want you to come out and be involved and showcase that, or you can pay more than your time is actually worth. So, I mean, if it's an option, this is a news report, and she's trying to make a point, which is kind of the interesting thing of it, I think.
Well, I think I'm of two minds about it because my first reaction is, so it's daycare for you.
100%.
Now you raise my kid. Here, take my kid. Now you've got it. I'm not involved. This is your job. And I don't really see it that way. I think part of your kid's education is you being involved, and teachers are not paid very well, and resources aren't really there for them. If they need help, then give them some damn help. Don't just drop your kids off and say, they're yours now, I'm going to party.
Yeah. And Venmo
Or
doesn't
the
solve
casino.
all the problems either.
No, but I would argue she's in the middle, though, more than it sounds like she is, because the extreme is, I don't care what my kids do at school, you're not getting a dime from me.
Right.
She's just saying, I want my kids to do well. I'm going to make sure they're doing their homework when they're home. But if you're taking them to the science museum, I don't want to go. I'll pay to help. Right? That's way better than saying I want nothing to do with anything they're doing. She's kind of in the middle. Yeah. I don't think she's. Maybe it's just the way that she displayed her attitude.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Makes it sound way worse than
that in her voice.
She went out of her way. Yeah.
There's quite a few people that will just pay that fee like AJ was talking about instead of working. I've had to work the lacrosse table, which is about the easiest thing on earth because you just have to write down the penalties, and I wasn't even that guy.
Yeah, but I get the email about the school carnival. I'm like, I'm not going to work the school carnival. I don't care, right? I don't care. I guess I'm more on her side then. Depends on what the thing is, right? If the kid wants to go on a field trip and wants me or Angie to go with, for sure one of us will go. But some of those things, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
I feel you, and I understand what you're saying, but there's also a part of me that's like, well, if nobody works the school carnival, there's no school carnival.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So
but that's where you Venmo and say, here, let's raise some money and have somebody run it for us.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Been going on for a long time. fundraising.
Well,
in
Rosie,
one
and
way or
I
another.
think it's big. You work every school carnival.
that's
I think it's
kind
real
of
big.
you.
You don't have any school-age kids.
Listen, I worked all the plant sales at Barton, where my kids went to school.
What kind of plants?
Plant sales.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is
You
that
know,
right?
it was a hip neighborhood.
I guess so.
You know, there was a section that was, you know, your typical garden variety plants, and then the ones that Rosie took care of.
Aren't all
buddy.
plants
Well,
in
the parents-
gardens?
Yeah.
You're right, but I'm in garden variety. You know,
Yeah,
if
garden
you wanna
variety. You
grow-
know he's a mountain.
A variety of plants that go in
Leave
gardens.
Rosie alone.
I had my special
Potted plants that aren't in gardens.
Yeah, hanging plants.
Think about that. What
Ditchweed.
What century did your kids go to school if you were working plant sales?
What are you talking
Lame.
about? What are you talking about?
Who has plant sales?
Oh, they were the best.
Yeah, the best.
You remember the fundraisers where you could sell like the holiday buckets of popcorn or the summer sausage, and you would earn prizes for the things that you would get, and there's like a Tootsie Roll bank that you could get, and all the way up to like CD players and stuff.
Oh yeah, the best. Man.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it was like Amway kind of, you know.
100%
Yeah,
it
right.
was. 100% it
Yeah,
was.
right. What about? And I'm going to say some words right now that every time I even think about it, makes me nostalgic. Book fair.
The Scholastic book fair.
the book
my
fair.
God.
The posters.
The posters and the little, Paul, you'll remember these little sports books.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jordan, they
Yeah.
were green or blue.
Yeah, and you felt like a millionaire with like $5 because you could buy everything. Yeah.
Poor Lawyer Lambert had to spend so much money
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
to keep you going.
And you bring those books home and he'd just light them on fire.
Yeah.
They do still have book fairs, which is fun.
Book fairs are sweet.
Our kids had them too, for sure.
Did they?
those.
Yeah.
Yep.
What they don't have probably anymore is those magazine sale fundraisers. Did you ever do those?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
We had the limo lunch where they'd bring you to Old Country Buffet if you sold it off in a limo.
Limo
Is that
lunch?
right?
Yeah.
Old country
Limo.
buffet in a limo.
Wow. That's
You guys were living
classy.
high off the hog.
See, at Chisago, we had this bit where this windowless van would pick us up and they would have bags of candy. And I'm like, I didn't sell anything. They're like, right this way.
Yeah, they gave you back.
Time for your limo lunch.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine little Sauce going, Dad, I want to go to the book fair. He must have laughed so hard.
Yeah, yeah.
He knew.
But I was just there for the posters. I didn't want the books.
That makes
the books
sense.
were
No.
stupid.
That's enough words.
But you
Right?
could get,
Michael
like-
Jordan.
Yeah.
End
but
of
yeah.
sentence.
But that was like in 94 when the Bulls were sweet.
Oh,
Whatever
they were,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
were the best.
Yep. And you had your hang in there poster.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's time for Fan 5, brought to you by Builders and Remodelers.
Hey, thanks, builders and remodelers. The Vikings open up on September 8th, but we are 8 days away from the start of the NFL season.
Hell yeah.
A week
that's
from
right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're almost there, Rosie.
Almost.
Preseason's garbage. Again, our national nightmare is over. 8 days
No.
away from football that kicks ass.
We need
Thursday
more
night.
preseason, right, Hogs?
Amen, brother.
And Friday
Thanks,
night
Alex.
game. The Packers playing the Eagles in
Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Brazil on
Bonus is
Friday.
going.
Yeah,
Johnny
he
Bones.
literally is
Yeah,
going to
he's
Brazil.
no kidding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a world traveler. He
Exciting.
travels the world to watch sports, which is great because he loves it.
Yeah.
Cy Amundsen's pissed about Venmo Mom, and he's on the hotline.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
God.
I love it when he gets pissed.
I know he's
Hi,
pissed.
Cy.
Right?
Listen to me. I'm not pissed at Venmo Mom. I'm pissed at you, Hawk. I'm all in on Venmo Mom.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna hang up on you. See ya.
No, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Listen, I come from all school teachers. My mom and dad were school teachers. My grandma and grandpa were school teachers. My parents as teachers used to refuse to participate in the sell magazines so you can get a prize stuff. They would only write a check. I think you're right that people need to volunteer. But the other option is we could all just have that same energy towards actually properly funding schools. Now,
That's radical.
now to get away from my radical progressive take, let me tell you something that you shouldn't do with school fundraisers. When I was 18 years old, I recognized this huge gap in our society and decided to buy a gigantic candle that was on sale at a small Dollar Tree store in Worthington, Minnesota. I melted it down into a pot and built tiny candles and then went around town selling them as a fake school fundraiser. And that's super against the law, guys.
Wow, that's a brilliant idea.
Get that off your conscience.
School fundraiser. How much money did you make?
At the time, like a pretty proud $130.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
And the police officer who was nice enough to not charge me when it was all caught up had me return the cash. Do you know how weird it is to go to businesses where you've lied about still being in high school and return them $8 in cash and take your terrible candle back?
That's radical.
Wow. That's
yeah, boys.
I'm
so,
impressed.
anyways, I'm all Venmo Mom. This little baby of mine, I'm not helping with nothing. I'm going to swipe the power.
That's great.
Bye, boys.
Bye. There goes Cy. Are we doing our comedy thing? Are we talking about that yet?
I don't think we can say the date yet, but
Okay.
the Power Trip comedy bit that we did last year is back again this year. Who knows what the lineup will be, but man, last year, Chad Daniels,
I mean, come on.
Kelsey Cook.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers were there.
Yeah, George Clooney.
Clooney.
Not a comedian, but he came. Yeah, right.
That's radical.
I know, Roser.
So we don't know the lineup yet, but next couple months we'll do it again. It was awesome last year.
Can't wait.
We got legit headliners last year. It was fantastic.
Yeah, man.
It's a great story.
Just killers. And Cy was supposed to do like 25 minutes, and he did like 45, and Chad Daniels just MF'd him the whole time.
Really? Oh, yeah.
It was the
he
best.
did like a full set. And Chad's like,
and it was
what?
awesome, by the way.
it was
Cy
great.
killed it.
Yeah, he was great.
Chad's like, so much for those 25 minutes, huh, Cy?
Yeah.
Like 45.
Yeah.
But A+, who cares?
Yeah, it was
If
great.
you're laughing,
Right.
who cares?
Yeah.
Again, and not to keep circling back, man, Bargatze was good.
He's so good.
I'm just such a huge fan.
Him
He was
coming out talking
fantastic,
about
dude.
the state fair just right away too, and how impressed he was with the state fair, and then telling his baseball story, which was great.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry I missed that.
But I'll say this, because I saw a Sandler once at TI right back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
The weirdest thing about even giant crowds of comedy is you really can't hear the whole crowd laugh. You only hear like the 200 people around you because the sound just doesn't stay in that little bubble. So I would say 2 or 3 times you could truly feel the whole, whatever it was, 14,000 people laugh together. The rest of the time you just hear your kind of group laugh, which I'm not saying that's bad because we were all constantly laughing because Bargatze was killing it. It's not the same as when Acme, when somebody hits hard at Acme, you feel like the whole room is reverberating because they have you.
Room. Yeah.
But when it just goes out into the ether, into the night, it just doesn't hit the same unless those 2 or 3 jokes that just absolutely crush everybody. And I forget what did he say that had everybody going. I don't remember.
Was it a Target thing? About going to Target?
Oh, yeah, and getting Home Alone 2 on
exactly.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Oh, that's your bit? No, Bargatze closed with that. He opened with it and closed with it.
It's probably funnier when he says it anyway.
He could say anything, man. I love that guy.
he's the best.
He's the best. Anyway.
He'll be back.
You ever at a comedy show where a joke lands and somebody that's around you, it must hit them right between the eye, and you want to ask them, family member or something involved with it?
Yeah.
There was a gal in front of us. He did a joke about community college, about how when you go to community college, it's basically just like you're probably just going to want to get to know the community because you're going to have to learn the lay of the land. You're basically just going to live in the community. And then he said something about how the teachers rotate, but you stay in the same classroom. And the lady in front of us lost her S. Could not have laughed harder. And I'm like, she has a son that went to community college.
Right.
She teaches at community college. She went to community. Like, there has to be a connection because she laughed uncomfortably hard at that joke. I'm like, I have to know the backstory because she thought it was the best. And I laughed. She lost it.
Yeah. Hit a chord.
Lost it. There's a story here. Man, he's good.
Yeah. He is.
Anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, what was it, 14 or 15 15,000? Like that, man.
15,000 almost.
Such an intimidating crowd for a comedian.
That's a ton.
That's awesome.
I mean, you think about going to the Orpheum or even seeing Carlin in his heyday.
Yeah.
3,000 people, maybe.
Didn't seem to faze Nate for a second.
That's sweet,
obviously.
dude. Good for him.
Next up, Tom Pelissero.
.com Tom.
Terrific.
He's not intimidated by big crowds either.
Talk Vikings and NFL with .com Tom Pelissero after this on The Fan.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today and get internet with a price for life. Keep your internet service monthly rate for as long as you keep your plan. Internet service monthly rate subject to continued plan availability.
Thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 612-254-7123. That's 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
Fantasy football fans, the NFL season is here, and now's the time to do your homework. The best way to do that homework is to listen to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Come hang out with me, Marcus Grant, and my pal Michael F. Florio as we help you optimize your draft strategy to have the best roster in the league heading into Week 1.
For a smart, fun, and entertaining path to winning your league, the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast is the show for you. Listen to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NFL Fantasy and start listening.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything football. Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 football survivor pool for the upcoming season. Head to the website today. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey, Twin Cities, it's Chris Hockey here. If you're considering replacing your windows in your home, here's why you need to call my friends at Builders and Remodelers. First, Triple Pane Elements windows are the highest rated windows in the industry and are only available from Builders and Remodelers. Second, your custom-built windows are installed by trained and certified professionals. Third, the warranty is incredible. For a limited time, qualified buyers can get an incredible 5 years, no interest, or save 25% off your project. Awesome products at great prices. Go to buildersandremodelers.com today. Proud partner of our Minnesota Twins.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Hey, this is Jeremy with Unique Classic Cars in Mankato. Do you currently have a classic or muscle car, but maybe it hasn't been on the road for a few years because it needs some work? Maybe it needs a complete restoration. Either way, we can help. Call 507-386-1726 or go to uniqueclassiccars.com.
Treasure Island Resort and Casino, TICasino.com. I had to immediately text Carly over the weekend because I saw that Bret Michaels was coming to Treasure Island Resort and Casino. And that's true. He is. You can see Bret Michaels at TI. The famed frontman for Poison is going to be there playing some of Poison's biggest hits on Saturday, November 2nd. Tickets go on sale this Friday at TICasino.com. So it is 2 days away. Go to TICasino.com for more information. Tickets for Bret Michaels go on sale Friday for Saturday, November 2nd. While you're there at TICasino.com, why don't you get a hotel room? You can make a weekend out of it in November or even sooner. You don't have to wait until November. Get down there this weekend. Why not? They have a water park, a bowling alley, To-Do's Steakhouse, and of course, every gaming option you can possibly imagine. They have hundreds of slot machines, bingo, blackjack, poker, and more. It's right outside of Red Wing, Minnesota. It's all about fun. It's all about entertainment. Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Find them online at TICasino.com.
For more than 25 years, I've trusted Continental Diamond for its exceptional selection of engagement rings, diamonds, jewelry, and timepieces, all offered at the very best prices. Whether you're proposing, searching for the perfect gift, or aiming to enhance your style with a luxury timepiece, Continental Diamond is the place to go. Voted best jeweler for a 15th consecutive year. Well done. Visit them in St. Louis Park or online. It is continentaldiamond.com.
Hi, it's Angela Warner. The Warner family is pretty serious about the fair. The food, the fun, the family time. But Warner Stallion has another fair tradition. Back when we used the fairgrounds as our warehouse, these weeks meant clearing out all of our appliances for a mega sale. And that tradition stuck. Right now, during Savings on a Stick, you'll save up to 50% off regular prices. And then we add a bonus for each one you buy for up to $1,200 instant savings. State Fair Savings on a Stick, only at Warner Stallion Appliance.
Hey, this is Ben Lieber back again for my friends at Thousand Hills Lifetime Graze grass-fed beef. You know what they say, we are what our food eats. And at Thousand Hills, their cows graze a giant salad bar every day. This local company is a national leader in regenerative agriculture, which offers so many important benefits from carbon sequestration, improving pollinator habitat, and my favorite, the product is more nutrient dense. Level up your grill game this summer by picking up delicious Thousand Hills hot dogs and sausage at Coburn's, Kowalski's, or at ThousandHillsLifetimeGraze.com.
You're listening live to The Power Trip on iHeartRadio and FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
Legendary comedian and actor Kevin Hart is set to return to Minnesota. You can see his hilarious Acting My Age tour when it comes to the Armory on Friday, February 21st. And Saturday the 22nd. Tickets for both shows are on sale now. Get the full details. KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Thanks there, Zacko.
Reminder tonight, Minnesota State Fair, Power Trip Morning Show, 6:30 to 8. Like half of us.
Yeah. Who else is going to be there with you guys? I know Parker's stopping by.
I have the text from last week. I think it's like Carly,
Yeah,
Tommy, Parker, Max.
I know Muss said he's going to be there.
Are you joking?
Come on, you're making that up.
No, because I told him I was going to be here
there
today, or joining you guys today, and he got excited because he thought that it was tomorrow night. Or tonight, I mean.
Look, maybe we'll be surprised. Who knows? Right? 6:30 to 8. We don't know who's going to be there, so why would you?
Be a good podcast. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, brilliant.
Traveling, food.
Who knows?
Who knows? By the way, has iHeart given Tyrese Maxey $100 million to do a podcast yet or
they're
not?
on their way.
I think he won the Who Knows Podcast of the Year award.
Got it.
It's Tyrone Maxey's pad. It's about his apartment. Yeah, it's a whole podcast just about his apartment.
Like a home makeover show.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
got it. Like
Yeah,
flip or
right.
flop.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Tommy
right here.
won't be there tonight. What? He's going out on Lake Minnetonka for work.
Well, that's what he does.
He just let you know that?
Well, we got Gopher game tomorrow night. He's got pregame.
Yeah.
Plus, I can't blame him. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Right.
He's
I
had
have a
enough of the
physical
fair.
tonight. I can't
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time?
go. All night.
Yeah.
You have a physical
Yeah,
tonight.
that's right. I can't go.
It's the only time he could get it, man.
That's right, man.
Parrish, you have a physical too?
Yeah, no. I have to. We have the Beauty League Championship game tonight.
Is
Team
that
Tria,
right?
absolutely. So come
Wow,
on out
man.
to Braemar tonight, 5 o'clock. And they're doing a Shine a Light event
Wait.
too, a little fun evening for the Shine a Light and Polly Martin's thing. So
What a
good
story,
charity,
Mark.
and I don't have to go to the fair.
But the Beauty League Championship is tonight.
Yeah.
Did you have tickets for that?
I had tickets for that.
I knew you were going to. I knew it.
sorry.
Who's on your team?
We have Eric Holla, Nate Schmidt, Brady Shea, Brandon Dillon, Jimmy Schultz. Let me see the Cates brothers. Yeah, we've got a pretty
You
darn
guys are
good
loaded.
team.
That sounds like a country music lineup.
I just was watching the Cates brothers play initials the other day. Popped up on my feed.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I remember those guys. Good dudes, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call .com Tom while you guys talk
All
about
right.
yourselves.
All right.
Oh, okay. So we got to kill like 30 seconds. This is awkward. I don't have anything to say to you guys. I don't have any questions. I don't have any shared life experiences.
You
with
were at
any
the
of you.
Dells, right?
Yeah.
Sure was, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You have to get on a scale now to ride most of the
I heard you
rides.
talking about that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
That was intimidating.
Well, they don't want the
Has it
tube to
always been
fly
like
off.
that? Like,
some of the rides it's been like that
is it
forever.
literally
more
have a
now?
scale.
Since some
Not-
accidents we've talked about
Yeah, when
in
I
the
was
past handful of years?
Going there when I was growing up, they didn't give two S's, right?
right, no.
Now it's for legal reasons. They just got to make sure that the things don't tip over or whatever. So there's a handful of rides where you got to step on a scale. And I have never seen anybody not do it. But like Sauce just said, once he knows that exists, he's like, I'm not going to the Dells at all.
No. Stay away.
So there's
I've
that.
not heard that before. Interesting.
It's a freaking kid's paradise, though, man.
Yeah, it
she
is.
just has the best time every year. She just freaking loves it. Did not want to leave.
Soup's fun, man.
Yep. All right, .com Tom joins us every Thursday during the Viking season, but today's Wednesday, so what the hell's going on?
He's busy tomorrow. Hi, .com Tom.
Hey.
Tomorrow, I am going to be live on Good Morning Football in Inglewood, California. So, little little time change, late night flight.
Right.
You can tune in, see if I look like I've slept at all, which I probably will not have. But I appreciate you guys for being flexible and accommodating me today.
See, I like that you could do that show from your house, right? Just zoom in. But they're going to fly you out there because they want you on set. We can't expense gas to the fair.
Well played.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think the 4-hour show via the home cam might have been a little bit too much. So I'm excited, man. I've not been in the studio since the show rebooted out there, so it should be a good time.
That's right. They did reboot it.
So who's on the panel now? Who's out there with you?
Jamie Erdahl, one-time KFAN intern.
Right.
Akbar Bajabiamila is now a part of the show. And then Kyle Branson, New York, but he is also still one of the hosts. So a lot of the core people back. The tagline is, we're covering the NFL from coast to coast. I happen to live between them, and so occasionally I have to go to one or the other.
Flyover country.
Yeah.
So Kyle is permanently in New York, or eventually he's going to have to move to LA as well?
Great question, Corey. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can speak on that.
All right.
I would say, as of now, he's still in New York, and they got a studio out there. Him and Peter Schrager do the show from the East Coast, and it's a unique setup. But if you watch the show, it's got the same vibe that it always has. So it's been good so far.
All right, Tom. Give us the best case scenario here. What do you think the future path of Lewis Cine looks like?
Yeah, it's tough because Lewis Cine is a really nice kid who had a extremely traumatic injury, and then came out year 2, completely different scheme, a demanding coach, just never really found his way. They shopped him around. They looked for a trade partner. They weren't able to find one, so he'll go on waivers. He was a first-round pick a couple of years ago. He had a lot of big fans in the league. It's just it's hard with the medical history. I would certainly anticipate teams are going to want to know, the condition of the leg. But then also, and I've had teams ask me about it, like what happened? Like, how can this guy who was a first-round pick 2 years ago not even get on the field? And it's kind of this confluence of circumstances. I would say, I do anticipate that he's going to be on a roster somewhere. It's quite possible he'll be on a practice squad, at least initially, which is not uncommon in the NFL right now. He's just got to, maybe the fresh start helps. Maybe the body being another year away helps. But as soon as you saw that he played 100% of the snaps in the preseason finale, it was pretty clear what direction this was going.
Hey, Tom, the Vikings currently have Ty Chandler and Aaron Jones as their only 2 running backs. Do you think they'll add somebody before the season starts?
It's definitely possible. There's going to be a lot of activity today. Basically, the cadence of this is all the cuts were due at 3:00 Central yesterday. The guys who are on waivers are on waivers until 11 a.m. today. We'll find out around noon who was awarded what players. Vikings have pretty high waiver priority, the highest they've had in a while. It's the same order as the draft up through the first few weeks of the season here, so they could have the opportunity. If it's one of the young guys, there also are vested veterans out on the street. Deontay Foreman's a guy who got cut yesterday. There will be some other familiar names I think that you'll see that pop up. I don't think that you probably go into the season with only 2 running backs on the roster. The question is just kind of how do you backfill some of those positions.
On that same note, Kene Nwangwu was one of the, let's call it, surprise cuts. Any insight into what went into that decision and maybe what they're looking for in replacement of that roster spot?
That one surprised me, and I think it surprised Nwangwu as well. He'd had a pretty good camp, and obviously, a guy who's got skills in the return game, which is going to become a little bit more potentially of the NFL in terms of the kick returns with the modified rule going into this season. I think that there's a non-trivial chance that he gets claimed off waivers here. Again, we'll find out what that is, but there's enough teams that have a need. We saw, the Bills made a trade for a return guy yesterday. You've seen some other guys get signed here toward the end. I do think that he's going to be playing somewhere in week 1. And listen, if he clears, you can't rule out the possibility he ends up back in Minnesota too. These are kind of some of the complicated decisions when you're not just projecting, okay, who's our best 53? It's also, hey, who do we think maybe we can slip through waivers, get them back on the practice squad, and buy ourselves a little bit of time with an extra roster spot.
Tom, you joked a little bit about being over in flyover land, but when you look at it, the NFC North in particular has, to me, has some of the best storylines in the entire National Football League. With the emergence of what's going on in Detroit, what's Jordan Love going to do in Green Bay, Caleb Williams in Chicago, and the unknown with Sam Darnold here in Minnesota. So if you look at this division right now, do you have a clear-cut idea how you think it's going to finish? I mean, do you think Detroit is the clear-cut favorite?
Well, I think you're right that this division's a lot of fun right now because you've got really good players and you've got, some younger coaches and you've got, a lot of star power within the division. I mean, I went through all the camps, or I went to Green Bay and Detroit. I did not get to Chicago. I think that, the Packers maybe were the hottest team in all of football the second half of last season into the playoffs, and they took the 49ers to the wire in the divisional round, just like the Lions did in the championship game. I mean, I think that if you're stacking it up logically, those have to be the two teams. I do think that Green Bay, just looking at how they're constructed right now, I mean, they are young, they are ascending. They got a quarterback who was playing really good football and should only get better with a bunch of young receivers and tight ends. They've had changes in the backfield. They swapped out Aaron Jones, who's now in Minnesota, for Josh Jacobs, and they also drafted Marshawn Lloyd. They just put A.J. Dillon on injured reserve, so he's not going to be playing for them this season. So there's some changes on the offensive side, but also defensively with Jeff Hafley. They're going to be playing a different style that probably is a little bit better fit for their personnel. I think Green Bay's got a chance to be a Super Bowl contender. I really do. And the Lions have to be in that same breath as well because they more or less brought back the same team. You got some guys like, Jamison Williams, who started to get in the flow last year, but he had, his first year was coming off the ACL and didn't play. And then last year he served the suspension. This will be the first real year for Jamison Williams. And just talking to people in Detroit, I mean, they think that guy's in for a monster year. Chicago is, I think that they're an unknown right now too, just because we've all got, I'm excited to watch Caleb Williams, man, and all those weapons that he's got around him just because he's a fun player. He's one of the rare guys who comes in with just absolutely unlimited hype. Bryce Young was coming in the previous year, and you're the number one pick, and you got pressure and all that. But it also was pretty apparent with Carolina that was going to be a bumpy season, let's put it that way. And it got off to such a bad start, and he looked like a shell of himself. Whereas in Chicago, they got a defense that was like a top 10 type unit after the trade deadline last year when they got Montez Sweat, and then you go get Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze and DeAndre Swift. They've got sky high expectations. I think it's a lot different, which lends a lot to the idea that these games really matter. Whereas last year you at least could talk yourselves into, if it's kind of rough early for Bryce Young, like he'll figure it out, which he and that team never did in year one, and so we'll see about him in year two. That brings us to the Vikings, who, and I know I've said this on the show before, but I think that anybody looking at this objectively is going to rank them fourth out of four. And I think that the Vikings kind of like that. They like that nobody is talking about them. They weren't before the McCarthy injury, and they're definitely not now. And I know Sauce had the over-unders. They got one of the lowest ones in the entire league. I don't think that they're going to be a bad team. I don't think that they believe that they're going to be non-competitive. If you think you're going to have a non-competitive season, you don't go out and give Stephon Gilmore $7 to $10 million to come and play corner. They've got, Justin Jefferson's going to have to be really good. Aaron Jones is going to have to stay healthy, which when he was last year, he played really well, but he missed a chunk of time with the hamstring injury. We'll see when Hawkinson gets back, and we'll see what Flores can do with the personnel on defense. I think the Vikings are going to be competitive. And I don't think that it's a bad thing for them to be coming in, and maybe the bar is a lot lower than last year, where just by virtue of the fact that they had gone to the playoffs, maybe expectations were a little too high. I think now they're a little bit too low, which a lot of times is a good thing.
Tom Pelissero, NFL Network. Thanks to our friends at Bell Bank. Yes. Tom, a couple of weeks ago, we asked you about the new kickoff rule, and we just mentioned that Wongwu was released, and if he was going to be a big part of that plan, that's kind of a weird release. But now that the preseason's in the rearview mirror, with people that you've talked to in the league, what's the general kind of pros and cons of the new rule? What do people like? What do people not like?
I think that there's still, Corey, an unknown because we haven't seen actual strategy. You've seen a little bit in the preseason, but nobody's going to turn loose their real plan until next week. And so I think that that's going to tell you a lot. Are there teams that just simply kick the ball through the end zone until they have enough tape to know if they should do something else. Are there teams that are just going to be really aggressive and say, hey, we're going to surprise some people because no one knows what's coming. We got a pretty good plan. Let's unleash it out of the gate. That's all to be determined. But I know that there's been a lot. There have been some coaches who have mentioned, confusion over, the touchback comes out to multiple different places and you're going to have offsides all the time and that type of stuff. But based on my conversations, and the competition committee will still, they meet every year after the preseason and talk about any new rules, any tweaks need to happen. I don't get the sense right now that there's an appetite for, man, we gotta really overhaul this rule or make a lot of changes. It seems like it's having the effect that they intended, which was returns are way up, at least in the preseason. If those go down once you get to the regular season, that's something that they'll examine as they move along. I would say as a viewer, and you guys probably are in the same category, it's super weird to watch, man. Like the whole, they're frozen in time. It reminds me of like the electric football game where you kind of
can I relate to that?
And then you did the rubber ball down the field. Rosie's laughing because this is right in his
right in my wheelhouse.
But it's like
he still
it
plays.
doesn't look right. Then you turn it on, you hit the button, and they start buzzing around. Like that's kind of what it looks like.
All
to
different
me.
directions.
We'll see what it looks like when it gets to the regular season. But I think it'll be fun.
So not only awkward because it's been doing that, it's also been boring, right? Like because there's nothing exciting. So it's been awkward and boring. It's kind of a terrible combo, but hopefully you are correct that something changes when the actual regular season kicks in. Sauce, you were going to say something.
Again, all these special teams coordinators, they all had a voice in this, right? They all got together at the Combine back in February and March, and they came up with the rule. Now, they had guidelines, which was, hey, you got to create a play that reduces the speed and space, leads to lower injuries but more returns, which is some pretty heavy lifting on that criteria right there. But they came up with, okay, this is what this should look like. This is what we should do. All those guys also, and I've talked to some of them, they've all got stuff up their sleeve. They've all got stuff that they're going to try. You're going to see things you've never seen before. I think you're going to see some big returns popped in the early going just because the teams that maybe have a really good plan are going to test it out, and nobody's going to have tape on it because we've never done this before. So I wouldn't go to get another ice cold pop during the kickoffs in week one. I think we might see some cool stuff.
During the combined practices, I saw some pretty good action when we were really going after each other and trying things. I think we could see more action than we're thinking. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Tom, do you think the Chiefs are going to three-peat?
It's a good question, Sauce. I mean, they're the fastest team that I saw in camp. They've got just weapons for days. I think that the thing with the Chiefs is just they weren't good on offense for most of last year, and they still won the Super Bowl. The bar for them is so low on the offensive side that I have no doubt that they're gonna clear it this year. Isaiah Pacheco, looks great. He says he's feeling really good. I think that he's going to be somebody who's going to take another step forward this season. Again, they've added so much speed, guys like Xavier Worthy. You're not going to be able to cover all the speed that they've got on the field, and they cook up so much cool stuff in terms of different plays. And there was one play the day that I was there in camp, and you always got to be careful to give away what the scheme was. But needless to say, there were several different players who touched the ball on a single play in a way that I had never seen before. And I asked Matt Nagy after practice about it. He's like, oh, yeah, no, we just came up with that last night in the cafeteria. We thought it'd be fun to come out here and run it. And I have no idea if he was kidding. I think he was serious. They invent stuff. That's part of the fun of the Chiefs. Defensively, they got Chris Jones back, which was huge. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best in the business. I mean, I would say this, Sauce. I'm not big in the prediction business, but it's pretty easy to say that when you've got the best quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime, who had the worst year of his career and still won the Super Bowl, that they're the team to beat.
One other quick question for you, Tom. The Vikings play the Jets in London early October, and, of course, they have a quarterback named Aaron Rodgers, and who's flying basically almost under the radar, given the young quarterbacks emerging in this league. Some of the other ones, we know the rest of the story with Mahomes and the rest of the gang. How important, how defining a season is this for Aaron Rodgers' legacy in total?
Good question.
It's a good question, and I think that if Aaron Rodgers didn't believe that this could help define his legacy, he wouldn't have come back. Now, he was immediately last year after he tore the Achilles on the fourth snap. He was telling people that night, the next day, hey, I'm coming back. I'm not going anywhere. Aaron, we talk about so many different things with Aaron Rodgers, whether it's politics or hallucinogens or, whatever, vaccines. but he's a 4-time NFL MVP winner with 1 Super Bowl ring. And he knows well Brett Favre won 1 Super Bowl ring. He's always stacked himself up against Favre, who, of course, he was on the team with for a few years at the start of his career. You know, he's a Hall of Famer no matter what. Aaron Rodgers will be in the Hall of Fame. But the standard for a long time, if you look at it, was if you got 2 Super Bowls, that made you a surefire Hall of Famer. Again, he is going into the Hall of Fame. But win a second Super Bowl, there's not that many guys that have done that. I don't think that anybody's going to say if Rodgers looks 40 years old this year and just has an okay year and the Jets go to the playoffs and get washed out early, I don't think anybody's going to sit there and go, you know, the legacy of Aaron Rodgers was tarnished here. But what he has is an opportunity. He has an opportunity to do something that not many people have done. Not just winning that second Super Bowl, which is, you know, absolutely the goal for him, but doing it with 2 different teams, which is a really, really short list. We're talking about the Peyton Mannings of the world. And I think Peyton Manning, even though he was vastly depleted in terms of his physical ability at the end, like my arm hurt watching Peyton Manning try to throw a ball once he came back from that shoulder surgery. He threw like 55 touchdowns the first year, and then just, you know, after the foot injury and missing time, he kind of gritted his teeth and found ways to lead that team to a Super Bowl before his time was over in Denver. Rodgers still can do more physically, but if those 4 snaps last season taught us anything, it's that he's going to have to adjust his play style. Because, I mean, Vikings fans know this as well as anybody. You know, Rodgers' skill was not just having one of the quickest triggers in the league and making good decisions and throwing like 1 interception a year. It was also the ability to extend plays and to throw off platform and to throw those backside options on designed run plays. And last year, you know, he played 4 snaps. He got hit on 2 of them, and he was holding the football on the play that he got hurt. He probably can't do that. He's probably got to play a little bit more in rhythm here. So I agree. It has flown a little bit below the radar, probably because we absolutely cannibalized the storyline a year ago of Aaron Rodgers and the Big Apple, and then he carries the American flag out, and he's done before some people even sat down in front of the TV. You know, this time around, the expectations have to be at that same level because of what the Jets gave up for him, because it's Aaron Rodgers, because it's New York, because the Jets haven't won in forever. But they got to fight just within their own division to get past teams like the Bills and the Dolphins. The Bills have won 4 straight division titles, and the Dolphins have been in the playoffs the last 2 years. I mean, they're going to have to claw to be better than 3rd place in their own division. It's going to be, you know, exciting and, you know, very fitting that for the 2nd straight year, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football in the opener back in his hometown. And, you know, I hope for all of our sake, including Aaron's, that it lasts a little bit longer this time around.
Appreciate the time, Tom. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.
You got it, guys. See you next week.
Have fun.
All right, Tom Pelissero. Thanks to Bell Bank.
Bell Bank.
He's good.
Always good.
Yeah,
Thank you, Bell.
great. Yeah.
He's good.
God, he is under the radar. Aaron Rodgers.
Headlines brought to you by my friends at Wolf River Electric. You can go solar. Go solar with Wolf River Electric and wolfriverelectric.com, like I did.
Yeah.
Got solar panels,
congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I did not put them up myself.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, right.
No.
Wise decision.
Okay, Rosie. That wasn't very kind.
Thanks.
A surgeon in Austria is in trouble for letting his 13-year-old daughter assist with a surgery and drill into a guy's skull.
What?
Oh, my Lord.
Don't laugh at that.
Well, NBD.
Maybe she took shop class.
That's right.
An operation.
Yeah, an operation. Played
They
out
forgot
on
on the table.
operation when she was a kid.
All right, this one's a wild ride. You guys ready to ride this one? This is from Chris's home state of Indiana.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Chris, how old you, Dad?
73?
Oh, damn it. This is 71. A 71-year-old man in Indiana pled guilty to trying to kill his wife by putting cocaine, MDMA, and something called benzos in her Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right.
What the hell are benzos? B-E-N-Z.
Benzos, they're like muscle relaxers kind of thing.
Well, I promise you it was a wild ride, right? Because he pled guilty, tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Cocaine, MDA, and whatever the hell benzos are.
Right.
He admitted he did it. He did
Yeah.
try to kill her. So he could marry her daughter.
Come on.
Holy hell.
Listen.
Come on.
That's
why are you guys so
another
judgy?
Hawk, what do you say
Indiana
about
story.
what do you have to say about your home state, Hawk?
I don't know where you're leading me, brother.
And just to clarify, it's not his daughter.
It does say her daughter, so it must be through marriage.
Right.
So it's not his blood daughter, but still, he wanted to kill the wife so he could marry the daughter instead.
You know, I got to hear his side of the story.
I'm sure it's compelling.
Right.
I mean, honestly, okay, again, it says it's not his blood daughter.
Right.
If my stepdaughter was Carrie Russell, I'd have to think about killing Angie.
Man.
I mean, she's going to kill me first, so what's the difference?
Well, she will now.
Dairy Queen is bringing back its popular pumpkin pie blizzard. Anybody ever had the pumpkin pie blizzard?
No, I think Tenna loves it.
Yeah, that does sound good.
That's his bit. Yeah.
You're done with pumpkin
Yeah, I don't do pumpkin stuff
at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Really?
All right, whatever.
Not my cup of tea.
Okay.
Chipotle is testing Chipotle honey chicken.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That I'm here for.
Yeah, I would try that.
Is it like spicy
100%.
honey too? Like that would be even better.
know.
Like
Mike's
hot honey.
Yeah, excellent. Trash.
Here's how much times have changed. Parrish used to be on a lot of flights back in the day. What percentage of Americans think they could do a 1-hour flight with zero entertainment? So just stare at the seat in front of them for an hour.
Just an hour?
Yeah, just an hour, but none of us like doing that anymore.
I'm going to, like...
What percentage of Americans say, yeah, I could do an hour just staring at the back of the seat in front of me?
No way. 40.
Well, you're right. It probably is different, but I certainly... I just close my eyes.
Now, mind you, a 1-hour flight means you're
Chicago.
in the air for 1 hour. You're on the plane for at least an hour and a half, right? Boarding, sitting there waiting, getting
No
off.
movie.
No movie.
No iPad, just staring at the seat.
15%.
I was going to say, can I move it down to 35?
5.
Yeah.
Parrish, you almost had it the first time. 44%.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Say they could, quote, raw dog it for an hour.
Wow.
An hour? It's only an hour.
Raw dog it.
Yeah, what do they call that, Rose?
I think people think too highly of themselves.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, Rosie, what does raw dog mean?
Never heard the term.
Oh, sure.
Sure, I haven't. Ballish to me, but sounds easy. How do you find
Rosie,
these buttons?
You say it.
Yeah, it's stuff that you say, and then
I guess it is.
cut up the audio and play it back.
I guess it's
quite
pretty
simple.
Didn't think
simple
it was
process.
confusing.
Yeah, you
Gaze at a graveyard.
That's sort of like
So
being
a couple of buddies are in Virginia a couple days ago, and they're fishing.
Yeah, see?
West Virginia. They're in West Virginia, and one of the guys catches a record-breaking
Pair of panties.
Whoa!
a 17.5-inch crappie. 17.4.
That's a big crappie.
Yeah.
17.4. That broke the state
walleye.
record, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
And
a little over an hour later, one of the guys he was fishing with caught a 17.8-inch one and broke the record. The guy's
my
record stood
gosh.
for 75 minutes.
his daddy.
Wow.
Can you imagine? You would immediately break your buddy's record 75 minutes later.
I mean,
No,
you
that was
get-
Never let him
the
forget
only
that.
good thing about that is you get to troll him.
Oh,
forever.
forever.
Sounds easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rosie,
man.
I don't know if it is.
That is.
Wow,
never
that's pretty.
mind.
That's a big old crappie.
I was going to
Yes, it
say.
is.
Okay, is he dead?
Well, probably. I mean, I don't know if they
They
released
threw
it or
it.
not.
I hope they
Yeah.
released it.
Here's the most worthless study or survey of all time. But according to a new poll, most teachers at schools now that have phone bans say it's making things better.
No.
How?
No way.
Hi, Rose.
Yeah,
Shocking.
correct.
Most teachers say, yep, it's better without phones.
I am for it.
I want to
Yeah,
hear
me
the
too,
ones
man.
that
Yeah.
don't think it's better.
I don't know.
Phones are a problem with
Period.
kids, period.
Yeah.
School, in school, out of school.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Somebody broke into an animal shelter in England.
Yeah, it's really hot. Oh, yeah.
Rosie, relax.
See, that one's just creepy.
Didn't steal anything, just let all of the cats out.
Yes. Come on, Willie. Yeah.
You know the name?
I know all the names.
Wow.
So you're in favor of that, letting cats just go out back onto the street
Well,
and maybe starve to death?
No, I'm really not, because if they're domesticated. I mean, someone's got to have a home for them. You can't
Butt
feed them. God, I was going to say something else, and I'm
Yeah,
glad
no,
I
I know
didn't.
We could all sense it.
Is the first word street and does the second word start with P?
Yes.
Remind me to delay the button bar, say. We've had a few ruined lately.
It is
Hockey, it's his
national.
fault.
It is National Bow Tie Day.
Oh, that's nice.
There we go. Thank you.
Button bar.
Wow.
There was a serial killer in the 90s named the Bow Tie Killer.
Oh, yeah.
He is terrifying. He would like hunt
I
down
love that.
problem kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many he killed, but that dude was crazy. Then he did stand-up comedy later. Said the N-word.
Jeez.
Yeah, it went south quick.
Man.
But he's a serial killer.
He got
I
out
mean,
of prison.
I don't think they ever
Who's
caught
the
him.
most famous bow tie wearer now? I can't think.
Pee-wee.
Not
Redenbacher.
Colonel Sanders.
Damn.
That's more of a bolo.
Rosie, you don't seem like a bow tie guy.
I'm not. I mean, or a tux. You know, when I've worn a tux here or there and a couple different times, but you wear a bow tie.
I would pay a shockingly high number in terms of amount of dollars to never wear a suit or a tux the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Hate dressing up. I hate tuxes, hate tuxedos, hate suits. If I never had to wear one the rest of my life, then I've done something correct.
What about your tuxedo thong?
I didn't say that.
Okay. I'm just checking.
You don't seem the suit type. The suit type.
Not interested.
No.
I
He
love
doesn't like
soup.
soup either.
I don't like
is
soup
good.
either.
Yeah,
No.
soup.
He
doesn't eat soup.
No, he
Rosie, you're
doesn't.
derailing.
I am.
Somebody in Oakland, California, stole a fire department's jaws of life.
Oh, that's nice.
What do you do with it? What do you do with it once you steal it successfully?
Try it out.
Chop stuff up.
Yeah. Get the guy at the Dells out of bed.
Oh.
No. That was a callback, but yeah. Do you know what the jaws of life are?
Yeah. Little pincers.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Rosie.
That'll do it, Rose.
Have fun tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, State Fair tonight, 6:30.
I can't be there tonight. No, I have plans.
Got linked tickets or
Coming to the beauty league.
I got home in time to watch Maya Moore's retirement. So even though we had the power trip thing was fun. The retirement of her jersey the other night. Well, you guys were having a blast at the.
Yeah, we were having a great time.
You were.
Yeah, it was fun.
No, I will not be there tonight.
Rose,
Oh, Rosie.
I'm doing an Alan Page event tonight.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
AJ, thanks, buddy. It's good to see you.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Always fun.
Thank you, Perry.
Yeah,
Thank
glad you
you.
could
Love
come
you
in.
guys.
Glad you could come in, AJ, on my day off.
You're not going to the fair? Come on out to Braemar and watch the Beauty League tonight.
Have
What
fun.
time
Good
will that
luck,
be?
Marky.
It starts at 5 o'clock. The event for Shine Light and Plum Martin goes from 5 to 8:30. The championship game is in there, as well as there's going to be a game with some of the kids.
Yep.
And, of course, the ladies have a game as well, too. So it starts
hurt
at 5,
yourself.
ends at 8:30.
He's not playing.
I'm the coach.
Oh, you're the coach. Okay, never
All
mind.
I tell them is to be exactly like me, incredibly selfish and shoot everything.
Sounds right. All right, 9 to noon next. We're back tomorrow, 5:30 to 9, but you can see most of us or some of us at the State Fair tonight, 6:30 to 8.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You too, have a day. I love you.
As we go, we're trying to pretend we know.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Quick Trip Traffic Center, here.
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today and get internet with a price for life. Keep your internet service monthly rate for as long as you keep your plan. Internet service monthly rate subject to continued plan availability.
At Farm Bureau Financial